Hello, everybody. My name is Fernando Aleman. I am an international medical graduate from Unica, Nicaragua, Unica University from Nicaragua. I recently created this YouTube channel because I wanted to share with you guys some interesting topics related to medicine and some high yield topics um, related to the step one, which is the exam that I'm actually preparing for. So yeah, I hope that all the videos, all the information I'm going to be uploading is very useful for you guys. So with that being said, let's get started. Uh, today topic today's topic is CYP 450. I consider this topic to be very underrated. And also it's not explained. Sometimes it's not explained very well during med school. So I will do my best in order to explain this topic in a very simple manner in order to each and every single one of you can understand this CYP system, this CYP 450 system, which is a very important topic. So I'm going to be providing an overview about this topic. I'm going to be explaining the nomenclature about the um, P450 system. I will explain the cytochrome P450 system, and I will also explain and discuss these terms induction and inducer, inhibition and inhibitors. And I will also provide high yield points about the P450 system. Okay, so when we speak about the P450 system, we are speaking about is deeply related about pharmacokinetics, and pharmacokinetics involves the drug absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. So we take the drug is absorbed, is distributed through the body, is metabolized, and is excreted. The final phase is the excretion. Our main focus in here is metabolism, that is also known as biotransformation. And the metabolism or biotransformation are all those chemical alteration of the drugs that happen in our human body, and all these processes happen by action of different enzymes, and these processes mainly take place in the liver. So this is high yield. All these processes happen because of different enzymes and take place in the liver, mainly take place in the liver. Metabolism or biotransformation is divided into two phases. Phase number one and phase number two. Our main focus in here is going to be phase number one. So cytochrome P450. I just wanted to be clear. I just wanted to clarify that when I speak on, or when you see in books or in articles CYP 450, that means cytochrome P450. Okay? CYP 450 is the same as cytochrome P450 system. So what is this cytochrome P450 system that everybody is talking about? Is a superfamily of heme containing primarily oxidative enzymes that take part in phase 1 reaction. So you know that I mentioned that we have a phase 1 and a phase 2, and this cytochrome P450 system is related with the phase 1 reaction. Okay, so this P450 system is responsible for a large amount of drug breakdown, which is the drug metabolism. So the P450 system is related with the metabolism of each and every single drug that we take. Well, uh, mostly all of the drug that we take. Not all of them. My apologies. Uh, the alteration in the CYP activity due to drug interactions, this is high yield due to drug interaction, can cause severe shift in drug half-life and may also lead to supra or subtherapeutic drug levels. I will explain this way more carefully as we go on in the lecture. We have around of 200 cytochrome P450 enzymes, so this system is a very big system, a lot of enzymes, and is divided in 43 subfamilies and in 18 families, obviously because there is a lot of enzymes that they needed to be divided in order to be understood very well. So let's pay attention over here. Of these 200, only 12 subfamilies are involved in drug metabolism, guys. So of these 200, only 12 subfamilies we are going to be paying more attention to. So as I mentioned, the 12 subfamilies that are involved in drug metabolism belong to the first subfamily, guys. So we have in here in black the 12 subfamilies, and we can see, we can appreciate that each and every single one of these subfamilies belong to a specific CYP family. And we can see that we can have in here the family number one, the first, the second, and the third family, which traduce to only the first, the second, and the third family are involved in drug metabolism. And this is very high yield, and this is very important also, because if we know that only the first, the second, and the third family are involved in the drug metabolism, whenever we see a vignette or whenever we see an option in our question that involves another family that is not these three, we can pull out that answer immediately. Okay? So the nomenclature, I know guys that this might be a little confusing and we don't know because we are looking at a lot of numbers, we are looking at a lot of letters, and we don't know the meaning of each and every single one of them. So we have at first we will have the prefix CYP, which is referring to cytochrome, and then this is going to, and then we have a number, and this number is the family. So we have in this case number 2, which is referring to the second family, and then we will have a letter, in this case D, which is the subfamily, and we have, and finally we have a second number, which in this case is 6, which will be the isoenzyme. Okay, so we will need to pay attention to the first number, to the family number. Okay, so remember, the first number is family, letter, subfamily, second number, isoenzyme. Okay, we cool? You can pause the video, you can watch again all the details, and we can keep going. There is no pressure in here. Then I add this table so you can see the families that we have and the subfamilies. You see there is a very large family, a lot of enzymes, but you can also see that in here we have the first, the second, and the third family, which their main function is to metabolize the drugs. So these are the main enzymes that we are going to be paying attention to. Those are the ones that are of our interest. Okay. So let's talk about induction and inhibition. CYP induction increases the rate of metabolism of the substrate. The substrate, guys, is the drug. So an induction of the CYP will increase the metabolism of the substrate of the drug. So what happened if we increase the metabolism of the drug? So that inducers will increase the metabolism, and this will lead to not drug toxicity, but a subtherapeutic effect because the drug is being metabolized way more quicker than it's supposed to be. So let's say that we have a patient and this patient is taking drug A and drug B, and in here we have the enzyme, the P450. The drug A is metabolized by this enzyme, and this drug, the drug B, is is an inducer of the P450. So this drug will stimulate the P450, and then the metabolism of the drug A will be way more quicker because of the induction of the enzyme. Okay, I will explain this. I will explain this later as the lecture go on, so you don't have to worry about it. Then we have the CYP inhibition, which decreases the rate of metabolism of the substrate of the drug. So the P450 inhibitors will decrease the metabolism of the substrate. So, in other words, the P450 inhibitors will lead to a decrease of the drug metabolism, and this decrease of the drug metabolism will lead to a drug toxicity because the drug is not being metabolized. So, there is a buildup of the drug effect in our body because the drug metabolism if is decreased. So let's talk a little bit more about induction, right? So let's say that we have these pills, these drugs in here, and these drugs are metabolized by the P450 enzyme, and we add an inducer. We add an inducer in here of the P450. So what's going to happen is that the metabolism of this drug is going to be increased. Is going to be way more quicker than it's supposed to be. And what's going to happen if the drug is metabolized way more quicker? What's going to happen with the drug effects? They will decrease. There will be a subtherapeutic effect, just as I mentioned, because the drug is being metabolized, is being, if we can say, destroyed, but it's not the correct word to describe this. But yeah, let's put it like that. The drug is being destroyed, is being degraded way more quicker than it's supposed to be, and obviously, if the drug is being degraded way more quicker than it's supposed to be, then the effects of the drug will be um, decreased. So then, what happened if we have the inhibition process? So let's say that we have the same drug, which is metabolized by the P450, but in this case we add an inhibitor. So so this inhibitor will inhibit the P450, so the drug will not be metabolized. The drug will not be metabolized. This inhibitor will stop the metabolism of the drug, and there will be a buildup of this drug, of the effect of the drug, and this will lead to toxicity in our body. So, guys, whenever we speak in inhibition, we're speaking toxicity. Okay, whenever we speak in inhibition, we are speaking buildup, and we are speaking toxicity. Okay, so far so good. So let's be more specific. Okay, let's be more specific. I want to be um, I wanted this topic to be very clear. So let's say that we have acetaminophen in here, and acetaminophen, let's say that is metabolized by ZYP450 into a less active form. But what happens if we add an inhibitor of the enzyme? with the CYP450, then this inhibitor will stop, will inhibit the acetaminophen metabolism, and that will lead to a buildup of the effect of acetaminophen and will lead to a buildup of the drug, and this traduce to toxicity. Okay? Then, what happened with the inducer? We have acetaminophen and we add an inducer. So the metabolism of acetaminophen is going to be increased because the enzyme is being stimulated. So the drug is going to be taken, this acetaminophen is going to be taken into a less active form. And what's going to happen? If it is being metabolized way more quicker, if it is being taken into a less active form, then the effects of acetaminophen will decrease, which traduces to a subtherapeutic effect. Okay? So let's remember inducer, subtherapeutic, tox inhibitor, toxicity. Okay? You remember you can pause the video. There is no pressure. So we have this table. I got this table from Ambos actually, which I think that is a very cool resource, and the library is super awesome. Um, and in this table we can see the different CYP families, CYP subfamilies, and we can see the specific drug that are metabolized by each and every single of the subfamilies, and we can see the specific inhibitors and the specific inducers of each subfamily. So we can see that the information is a lot of information. In here we have the other part of the table. It's so big that I couldn't fit in one slide. But usually we see this table, and we as students, I understand that we get scared when we see this table and all the information, and for the steps we see this information, and we get scared because a lot of information to memorize. But don't worry, as I mentioned before, we have the first three families of the CYP are the ones that are in charge of metabolizing drugs. So we have CYP first family, second family, and third family. If we are able to, I mentioned before that, if we understand that, we are good. Then we need to know which drug are metabolized by the first, the second, and the third family. So for the first family, we have two drugs, okay? The first drug is a drug that I am pretty sure that we use each and every single day, acetaminophen. And the second drug is a drug that it's not that used, which is theophylline, okay? Then we have the CYP2 family, and we have two drugs, well, one drug which is warfarin, and we have ethanol, which is not considered a drug as it by itself. And then we have the CYP3 family, in which we have the antimicrobial, which includes antibiotics, antiretrovirals, and antifungals. We have oral contraceptive drugs, and we have high anti-hyperlipidemic drugs, and we have anti-epileptic drugs. So we have triple A plus and O. Triple A plus and O. There is like a little mnemonic, triple A, A, N, O. You can pause this. You can pause the video. You can take a screenshot of the table. Memorize it, and you can keep moving. So that being said, we have the inducers and we have the inhibitors. We saw on the table a lot of inducers, a lot of inhibitors, but these are the high yield inducers and the high yield inhibitors. So let's talk about the inducers of the CYP450. I have a mnemonic in here. We have the inducers: carbamazepine, rifampicin, alcohol, phenytoin, griseofulvin, phenobarbital, and sulfonylureas. I got this very cool mnemonic, which is crab GPS induces my rage. So you know that when we are using the GPS, when we are using Google Map, Waze, I don't know whatever app you use, and it's not working, we get angry. At least I get angry when Waze is not working and it's supposed to be working. I don't know. I get angry because of yes. So crap GPS induces my rage. All these drugs are inducers of the CYP 450. And then we have 10 inhibitors. Unfortunately, I don't have a mnemonic for the inhibitors, but always be smart. Need to remember, guys, that for the steps, and especially for the step one, we are not going to know all the information because it's a ton of information. But we need to be smart. We need to think smart because if we are looking for an inducer in the if we are in the answer of the question, and we got different if we're looking for inhibitors, my apology, and we have inducers. If we know the inducers, we can know the inhibitors. Okay, by elimination, if we know the inducers, by elimination we can know the inhibitors. So for example, we have a patient that comes to the ER because is taking warfarin, acetaminophen, and is also taking carbamazepine and, let's say, amiodarone. And the patient came in because the patient had um, easy bleeding, easy bruising, gums bleeding, and and he doesn't know what is happening. We need to know, and the question said, which drug is causing the patient symptoms. So if the patient is having easy bruising, gums bleeding, easy bleeding, we know that these are effects of the warfarin. And the patient is taking acetaminophen and is taking carbamazepine and amiodarone. So if all those symptoms are because of warfarin, there might be something that is inhibiting the CYP450, which traduce to an increased effects of warfarins. So we know that the patient is taking acetaminophen, but the acetaminophen is only a drug that is metabolized by CYP first family, so that doesn't make any sense. The other answer is carbamazepine, but carbamazepine is an inducer, so that make no sense. And then we have amiodarone, which is an inhibitor of the CYP, and if amiodarone inhibits CYP, then warfarin will not be metabolized, and there will be a buildup of warfarin, a buildup of warfarin effects, that which will lead to toxicity of warfarin, that reduce to easy bleeding, bleeding gums, easy bruising. So that's the answer. Any other one? So you know why it's very important to know these last two tables that I add on the lectures that says high yield is the main important part of this topic. If we are able to understand that only the first, the second, and the third family are the ones that are in charge of metabolizing the drugs, and then we know that uh, the first family metabolizes acetaminophen and theophylline, the second one warfarin and ethanol, and the third one triple A plus NO, and then we know that crap GPS induces my rage. I can guarantee that that the question that you get about the CYP450 enzymes, you will get it correct. This is a very, I know that this topic at med school can be difficult, but if we review it carefully, it's a very easy topic and mm, not only very easy to pass the exam to get the question right, but to understand it and to know the effects that shuffling or combining drugs will have on the patient. Because sometimes we as doctors, as MDs, we combine drugs, and we don't know the effect that this drug will have on this one, or the effect that this drug will have on this drug, and all those effects will have some effects on the patient. So that's why it's very important to know this topic. Okay, as I mentioned before, there is no pressure, there is no rush. You can pause the video, review it, and yeah. That being said, that was today's video. That was today's video. That's the first video. I hope that it was very useful, and yeah, I will really appreciate it. You subscribe to my channel, thumbs up, and yeah, thank you very much. See you later. Bye bye.